Yeah, it's doing. Sorry. Hey, welcome everybody. How are you? It is Wednesday. It is October.
It's October.
It's already October. Where did the summer go?
Flew by.
So as usual, we're going to do our Halloween month, and this week we are starting off with the 1989 sequel, Ghostbusters II. But before we get into that, we are going to do some news, right?
What we're going to do is you're going to give us some really kick-ass news about lunar replicas.
All right.
And then what we're going to do, is we're going to recap Strange New Worlds super fast.
Super fast. We're going to do 10 episodes in 10 seconds.
Pretty much. Close to it.
Yeah. So you want me to do the we'll do the this is something that you guys know, Max Kaiserman from Lunar Replicas. If you were up at last Trek Ticonderoga, you might have met him at the Lunar Replicas booth. Anyway, he is putting together, I'm kind of helping, this thing called Mission 60s, and it's going to be at the TWA Hotel at JFK, which is, of course, the John F. Kennedy Airport in New York City. This is next year, not October of this year. This is October of 26. It's going to feature all kinds of stuff about space. We have some NASA stuff, or it looks like, lined up. Maybe some Star Trek. I think we're going to have some Star Trek guests there. So this is all still in the very early planning stages, but you might want to put it on your calendar just in case you're interested in going. If you've never been to the TWA Hotel, it is amazing. It is basically a replica or a recreation of a 1960s jet set type hotel with all 60s furniture. Even the rooms have dial phones. It is a really cool place. And again, it's really only been open, I think, a couple of years. So anyway, that's all I'm going to put. Obviously, as things develop, I will keep you guys updated, but I just wanted to kind of get you so you can put it on your calendars. This is next year, so we're over a year away from it, but I think it's going to be a neat event. Looking forward to doing it.
Yeah, I think it's going to be really cool with all the 60s stuff. You guys can follow either Max or Lunar Replicas on Facebook if you want the latest information.
Correct.
On this. Okay, so Star Trek Strange New Worlds Season 3, massive recap. We actually already did Hegemony Part 2. We already did Wedding Bell Blues, and we already did Shuttle to Kenfori. So we're going to pick up with number 4. It's called Space Adventure Hour. This is the one where La'an is on the holodeck. She's testing a prototype holodeck, and she's doing a murder mystery thing.
Right. She's testing the holodeck to see if it's, and that's what they chose to do, this murder mystery. Very, again, kind of going back to the Dixon Hill era of the TNG.
1920s.
Again, it was another light episode. We already had like 2 of those now in a row because the wedding one was definitely on the light side.
Absolutely.
Again, holodecks, yes, technically, if you go by the animated series, the holodecks were in TOS. At least they were in the animated series. And I think it was something that Gene always wanted to do, but the technology of the 60s for live action wasn't there to do any justice. It would have cost way too much anyway. So they didn't do it. But I mean, that's fine and all, but I don't know. It was just an okay episode. I don't know. It was just, there was nothing spectacular in it. I don't know why they have these holodecks on these ships anyway, because they're always trying to kill these people. Like, every time there's a holodeck,
that's exactly what I was thinking. Like, it's one of those situations where the problems in the holodeck get worse and worse until the actual ship itself is being affected. And I was like, we've already done this on Next Generation at least twice, maybe 3 times.
It's the originality. It's just, I don't know. Maybe they're thinking there's a whole new generation of people that haven't seen TNG, so or TOS, or we're just going to keep.
You don't need to catch us up like that. We can go back and watch it.
Yeah, I know, right?
All right.
So anyway, it was a meh episode. It wasn't horrible, but it wasn't. It was a meh.
It was absolutely meh.
So
you ready? Should we move on?
Yeah,
the next one is episode 5. It's called Through the Lens of Time. And this is where Chapel and Corby go down to those ancient ruins, and they all go in. And of course, the ancient ruins promptly try to kill them.
Yeah. Just one thing, just jumping back to the last episode, the one shining thing that they did do was kind of the parody of their own of Star Trek with the kind of beginning and the end. They did sort of a thing with the guy that plays Kirk and doing that was kind of funny. But beyond that,
that was kind of funny. But the rest of the episode was.
I did laugh when he tried to do the Riker maneuver and the whole chair fell apart. That was that was funny. I wanted to just throw it because I didn't want to give it some credit.
It reminded what it kind of reminded me of? It reminded me of Black Mirror, the USS Callister.
Like, it did, but it was also that you remember they did that on Voyager with Captain Proton. So again,
that's right. Kind of a rip-off. That's right.
So they kind of ripped off Voyager.
It never turned sinister, but it had that vibe of like uber cheerful kind of.
Yeah.
All right. So anyway, back to the Lens of Time. The ruins,
so this one, and so we get introduced to this new nurse, this guy who's a nurse, very energetic, and of course she ends up basically, dying at the end of the episode because he was taken over by the bad aliens. And again, this is not a unique idea. We've had this done in TOS. If you remember the one with Memory Alpha.
Tons of times,
What was that one?
We've had this done in Next Gen.
Took over Mirror. What was the name of that episode? Somebody help me out there. Lights of Zatar.
Yes.
And that wasn't even a great TOS episode by any means. So again, I feel like we're going back to the well. I don't know. Maybe there's just nothing left for uniqueness. Everything kind of copies something else.
The dredges.
I don't know. It was at least the episode it was sort of interesting, and it was, other than the fact that we've kind of done this before with beings want to take over human bodies, and in fact they've done that in Next Gen. You remember the one where O'Brien and what's his name, they were all taken over by the spirits from the planet.
It did bum me out. I really like the actor. I really like the guy who's playing, and I like the character who's the other nurse. Really liked him, but no, he's dead.
Yeah, I thought it was interesting how they were going. Or is he? Well, we'll get there. So I mean, it's kind of, it was an okay episode. At least it was something trying to do something new.
They tried.
So, and it wasn't silly. So,
So that brings us to the next one, number 6. The Sealat Who Ate Its Tail. Now, this is a top-rated episode. People, by and large, as I saw on social media, for the most part, they liked it. You and I had differing opinion on this. This is the one where Kirk's first day as in the captain's chair turns disastrous when the scavenger ship seizes the Enterprise, and we find out who these scavengers are. Rizzo, tell me your thoughts on this episode.
Yeah, I mean, it was interesting. Again, they're bringing in Kirk way too much, in my opinion, but that's another side.
Oh God, yes, we will discuss that.
And I had that. I think I told you, I was like, the thing that did bug me about Scotty was in the original series was much older than Kirk. Yet here he is. He says not only is he younger, but he's a much subordinate officer at this point too. So it just not the same. I'm just at the point here. My thing is, this is clearly not the TOS.
It's alternate timeline.
Whatever you want to call it, it's a different universe, it's a different timeline, whatever you want to call it, it's not the same. It can't be. Nothing lines up. And I know people go, "Oh, screw canon," do whatever they want, but no, I like the things to kind of match up. But anyway, the one that bugged me at the end of this was it was actually an interesting episode until the reveal of who the aliens were, and that's where I think where we differ.
I liked it. I liked seeing Kirk be uncomfortable because nobody likes this Kirk.
That was fine, although he's still learning. I guess, but the fact that these were humans that again were a part of an expedition that was launched before Warp Drive, and it became a generation ship really, and they had to use technology and desperation to survive, and they're continuing to do this and.
There was a lot to explore there.
I don't know. The whole idea seemed like you had to make him. Why? How many? How much stuff have we as humans in this universe thrown stuff out into space and it's come back and bit us in the ass. V'ger. There was the thing from Voyager. What was it? The one that was going around in Voyager was way out. There's another Voyager episode.
Oh yeah, some other one.
Some human probe. You know, the whale one. I guess that wasn't our fault.
Yeah, the whale one.
The whale one was kind of another probe. Oh. You know, we got Nomad.
Oh, and then just not even hardware. Like the episode where our radio and TV waves went out, and then some other planet was like, "Yes, let's do Nazis or whatever."
Right. You know, well, I'm not saying every TOS episode was great. Don't get me wrong, but we also had about 29. We also had about 20 some odd per season, so 25, 26 episodes.
So you can have a couple.
So this one, that was my niggle with this one. It was good up until I thought it was okay until that point, and then I was like, lame.
I thought it was okay. It was just not well fleshed out. Like they had some interesting concepts that they didn't fully evolve. They didn't fully flesh it out.
I think they could have fleshed that one out better. It just seemed like they got to the end and go, okay, we're kind of done writing, so we just need to wrap this up.
Let's just wrap this up. All right. Number 7. I didn't love this one. This is called What is Starfleet? This is the episode where Ortegas' brother is running around with the video camera, and he's making a documentary. And so you see the entire episode through this documentary.
Yeah, sort of. Yeah. What was the plot? I don't even remember that part. But I don't remember what the main plot.
It was just them trying to decide. They're trying to aid a war-torn planet, and they aid the one side. Starfleet tells them to aid the one side that's bullying, and they thought they should aid. Vaguely. When they thought it would be like if I don't want to make a modern day comparison. Yeah, the Starfleet told them to aid the big bad bullies who are killing the little tiny planet, and they were like, "Oh, we might should help this little planet." It was that situation.
Yeah, and of course they broke Prime Directive.
And it's professionalism. Like, do we follow orders? Of course we do, because we're professionals.
Yeah, no, that's what that was funny you say that, because I was trying to think if I had to sum up this TV show in one word, it's unprofessional.
Which is crazy, because Next Gen was competency porn.
Yeah, exactly. It was like the opposite. You know, it's like, but anyway, all right. This episode I was just mad again. It was.
All right.
Moving on.
Yeah, it was so pointless. Neither of us really remember anything about it. But the next one I know we all remember. Next one, number 8, 4.5 Vulcans. They get turned into Vulcans for whatever the mission is, which is done in like 2 seconds. Yeah. And trouble arises when they try
can't get
to
them back. And Lalonde is going full con.
Was she like a Romulan by accident or something?
It was like, I think she was like, I think. Yeah, like she was tapping into that Romulan gene as opposed to Vulcan. Clearly,
this was
the silly part of this is it's like, oh, we give you people a shot, and they instantly change. But their clothes change too.
This was a horrible episode.
It's like, okay, it's changed their appearance, but immediately, like everything about them changes.
Yes.
And it was like,
like suddenly Chapel's running like 17 different experiments at the same time. La'an's trying to take over the ship.
Well, I mean, this is like the Tuvix episode. They didn't want to go back to being human.
No, so they're like, this is better this way.
You force that issue. It's the
same.
But
you know, the other thing that was going on in this episode, Patton Oswalt.
Yes, he was at least. I love him. Yeah. He's funny, but again, he's kind of the fun.
Even he could not save this episode, though.
No. It was just not good. There was so many bad things about it.
I heard online on YouTube when I watched some like Trek Culture and others review these kind of episodes, it was described as racist, which is really interesting. Like there's a lot to unpack there. Like, it just wasn't. It was another episode that's like, what were you guys thinking?
Yeah, I don't know what they were thinking.
All right, moving on. Number 9.
The thing is, it's like the joke is back in the TOS days. Remember, which is supposed to be after takes place. McCoy had to bob or make. Remember, he made Kirk look like a Romulan, so he had him fit.
Yeah,
it was just cosmetic.
Yeah,
I know the reason they said they couldn't just do that. I know before everybody jumps on me, these people had enough technology that they could scan them and know they weren't Vulcans, and I'm like. Clearly, they didn't need 5 people to do this because they could have sent Patton and Spock down there and probably fixed whatever.
Yeah, and they could have just taken care of it. Bada bing, bada boom.
Anyway, yeah, that one's a write-off. That was a terrible episode. So the next one is what, 9, Terrarium. Right.
The last 2 get a little bit better. Yeah, number 9, Terrarium. Ortegas is stranded on a moon, whatever, and she has to do enemy mine to survive.
Yeah, that was, again, this is my problem with it. It was such a ripoff of other. We've already seen it in TNG with Geordi. Same thing where he had to befriend the Romulan, had to work together to get off the planet. So we've been there before. They already did this. If you ever saw the movie Enemy Mine, we did this.
Enemy Mine. It was
It was very Picard. Not original.
Darmok at Tanagra.
Yeah,
that's what it was.
Similar to that, yeah, in a lot of ways. And of course, it's a Gorn that she has to.
And it's a Gorn.
Help out.
And they made it very, very clear that she has PTSD from the last time she saw the Gorn.
Right. They had to make sure that, yeah. So, it was. There's a lot of, I just again felt this, although the episode overall wasn't bad.
It wasn't that bad.
I just think it was, again, it wasn't an original idea in any way. It just wasn't.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't that bad. They had a couple twists on an old idea, I guess. But at the end, they just leave you, and they don't resolve this at the season finale either. Ortegas is, so at the very end, Ortegas is now friends with this Gorn. La'an shows up and goes, "Oh my God, it's a Gorn!"
Yeah, shoots it right. Which that was coming. You saw that coming.
And now Ortegas is sitting there going, "Ah."
Well, because I honestly thought that they were going to use this as their kind of, because then don't forget about there's the whole thing with at the end it was a whole setup by the Metron.
Oh yes.
We forgot the big reveal at the end. Which it was the Metrons that member from Arena.
Metrons, yes.
The Metrons from Arena set this one up as a test. Again, just happened to be born.
And that made, human. That negated that entire episode. That was a good episode. I was rolling along.
I thought that was a really weak add-in. Yeah, they were trying to make it like Arena. Stupid. And it just was basically like Arena that, humans aren't so bad. Until they killed it right at the end because they didn't wait to even, see what was going on.
Yeah.
So obviously the stupidity of even La'an, I know she's trigger happy with Gorn, but you think about it, it's like, okay, clearly Ortega's been on the planet for how long with this Gorn, and the Gorn didn't kill her. So you might want to say, hey, how did that happen?
That was that episode kind of annoyed me. And then finally, the season finale, number 10, New Life and New Civilizations. When Marie Patel finally reveals that she finds out that she's gonna save humanity, I guess,
from the evil ghosts that live in that, from when that other episode, whatever,
from the evil ghosts. And then she and Pike get to do a real quick little inner light moment there where they get to live out their life as if it had been their life
in a few seconds, as if they had a life together.
You get to see what it would have been like to marry me. And then, nope, I'm a statue.
I don't know. If you were her, would you be like, yeah, I'm okay to be this statue for eternity and just sit here or whatever? I don't, she was like too resigned.
She was
people were
like, oh, yeah.
Like, this is my destiny to be here. I don't know. I guess I would be like, no, I don't want to do that.
Better.
Like, how the hell did I get stuck doing this? How did I get picked? Yeah. What lottery in hell did I win?
And it didn't clue her in when they were in Chapel's like, wait a minute, the statue has your DNA. Now that's some wibbly wobbly, timey-wimey.
You know what the other thing, jumping back to Terrarium for a second, the other thing that really bugged me? Again, we have Uhura lying to the captain, fudging numbers to get what she wanted.
Oh, yeah.
And no consequences. And even though he's like, oh, I knew you did it. Again, like there's no consequences for these people doing this stuff. That's why I mean unprofessional.
Because they had to leave. Of course, they had to leave because there was a plague or they had a vaccine or some.
And again, how many times have we seen that? Again,
So they had to leave to go handle that.
Galileo 7.
Like,
again, we ripped off that.
One more time.
We ripped that off from Galileo 7. We ripped that off from Requiem for Methuselah.
So it was really an entire season of ripoffs. Yeah,
that's my opinion. Sorry if you guys really loved it. It's not.
Sorry, guys, it was neither strange nor new.
I just think there could be so much better. That's what I'm really wanting. I'm like, I know this could be better if they just took their time and wrote some episodes and like made stuff make
and got
sense.
really thoughtful about things.
Yeah, and just you stop with the silly episodes. Stop.
At least they remembered in the finale when Pike was living out his life. At least they did remember. Oh yeah, he's supposed to end up in the chair at some point.
Right.
He doesn't. Spoiler alert. He doesn't yet. But they will.
Well, no, because that was the thing that was the gift that in his and it wasn't his real life. It was just like an inner light thing, as you put it.
It was
so that's why he was like, I should have died, and he didn't, and then their life continued and then of course that was to give her some closure so that she knows that she's going to be a statue.
Have a life before she has to be a statue for eternity.
I don't know. Yeah, whatever.
And he just like at the end she gets turned into a statue and he's just standing there like he had zero facial nothing, just like okay.
Yeah, you think he'd be a little more upset about that.
My girlfriend's a statue now. All right, well, see ya. Yeah, the whole thing was just.
All right, enough of that. Sorry if we ruined anything for anybody,
guys. If we spoil it for you, we're sorry, but.
Well, I mean,
all right, what are we drinking tonight?
What are we drinking? Oh yeah, we did have a drink, didn't we? Da-da-da-da. Called the Ghostbuster, and they call it's a shot, I guess, but you could just drink this as a drink. I don't know why it's a shot, really, because it's not very. It's only 2/3 liquor.
It's
2/3 of an ounce of liquor. Because vodka, melon liqueur isn't exactly a, 151 rum. So I actually think I've made something this on my own, almost the same thing without knowing. I think I swapped out vodka for Peachtree. Make it even sweeter.
Pineapple juice and orange juice. Sounds like
pineapple juice and orange juice always go together. And then you could always add, again, I would think it would be more green, quite frankly, because once you add that melon liqueur in there, it's going to be green, not orange.
Yeah, that's a good point. And there's no curacao or anything in this either, so.
No. You could put
this curacao. This would have been good with rum instead of vodka, yeah.
Yeah. They got flavored vodkas now, too, so you could even kick that up a notch, put some citrusy vodka or something in there.
Nice.
Anyway, it's probably good.
Probably good.
Probably good.
All right, kids.
All right. Ghostbusters 2, 1989, the sequel to. I like this movie. I don't care. A lot of people were trashing it. I don't know. You're good with the records as far as what they made. I imagine.
I have it.
Made money. I know it was a bit of a stretch. Murray probably didn't want to do it.
Nope, he didn't. The budget, according to this, the budget was 30 to 40 million. It raked in 215 million.
I call that a success. So that
is officially a success. Yeah.
So I actually think this is funny. I mean, is it better than the original? No, but to me, it's funny. I still quote a lot from this movie.
What do you quote from this movie?
What do I quote from this movie? If you have ever heard me go up to somebody, everything you're doing is bad. I want you to know this is from this movie. That was a lot of I take a rip off from
That's Peter McNichol.
Everything you're doing is bad. I want you to know this. So if you've ever heard me say that to somebody at the set tour, that's where I got it from. The other thing is, what else is funny that he does another. There's a bunch of stuff. Of course, I've used this. You're scaring the straights. When he says when they're come up when they're all in their rubber, you're scaring they're all covered and you're scaring the straights. I've used that one many times. Yeah, it's just
Jeffrey will
named after a hot dog. I've named that one. That one. Daddy was a smelly. I say that to my dogs all the time. Yeah, because they all stink. So there's just there's a ton of stuff. I don't even realize I picked it up off this movie, but the joyfulness is over. I use that one all the time. Usually when my daughter comes home.
Yeah. Yeah. Peter McNichol had some good lines.
He really was actually really quite funny in this movie. And I love when he goes, where are you from, Janos? Like meaning like what country? Goes the Upper West Side.
This movie had a few moments. It had a few not so funny moments, but it had some good moments. It was, however, almost beat for beat, like one of the first times we saw the beat for beat sequel that we really got mad at George Lucas for doing. But this is one of the first times where it was like,
It did have a lot of the same. Yeah, the mayor they brought back.
There's
I mean,
the
I
mayor,
thought the
there's
scene, the
Lewis
courtroom
and
scene.
Janine back again.
Yep. I mean, the courtroom scene I thought was pretty funny.
The courtroom scene was pretty funny.
I thought that was pretty good with the judge, and burned at the stake, and poof,
The part where Bill Murray's on the stand and Lewis or Lewis Tully, I can't think of the actor's name.
He's basically leading.
He's
the way around.
The guy. Yeah, and instead of saying objection leading the witness, he should have been objection leading the lawyer.
Yeah, no.
Because Bill Murray was telling Lewis what to say.
Yeah. I like when he goes, and I turned into a dog once, and these guys saved me. So
these guys saved me. Yeah.
Thanks, Lewis.
He's just saying whatever.
That was pointless. So why would they hire him as their lawyer? I guess they couldn't afford anybody else. Is kind of the funniest part of it. But
yeah,
that judicial estrangement order, that blue thing that she gave me.
However, I have to, yes, everything was really funny until the Scoleri brothers or whatever the brothers' names were. So now it's a couple years later. Technology ostensibly has improved, and yet somehow, I don't know. I didn't care for the way some of this looked. I didn't care for the way Slimer looked this time.
Are you talking about the special effects or like the technology in the? It was still only 5 years later. It's only 5 years. We're not talking, and it's still we're still in an era before.
Yeah, we are still in the 80s. I'll give you that. We haven't even done Jurassic Park yet.
So I mean, that didn't bother me.
No, I didn't like the way Slimer looked.
Maybe by today's standards, the Suroscope could have been a lot better, but
yeah.
Yeah, I don't. That's interesting that you feel that way. I didn't feel that way about the effects.
Although
the ghosts were very cartoony.
Yeah.
They added Slimer in there on purpose again because the cartoon was running in those 4 years between movies.
Yeah, that's true.
The cartoon had Slimer living at the firehouse.
Yeah, living in the firehouse.
So they stuck him in there.
They even had lines. They had a deleted scene where Lewis Tully, who wants to be its Ghostbuster, is practicing, and he sees Slimer in the ghost house and tries to shoot him with one of the packs and misses, of course, but almost shoots Janine. And then Janine's picking herself up and dusting herself off, and he's like, "Oh, there's a big green one floating around," and she's like, "Oh, that's he's okay, he's fine, don't worry about him," And that got deleted. A lot of scenes that went a really long way to explain why Dan Aykroyd got mesmerized by the painting and suddenly turned into the painting. All those scenes got cut. So in that scene where they finally face the painting and Dan Aykroyd suddenly turns into the painting, that must have it was really confusing. It was really confusing because you just had to take a jump, like a logic jump.
Well, I mean, they kind of set it up earlier because remember when they first went to the museum, he was up on the ladder and he was scanning it with basically that. Actually, anybody knows that's a 1980s version of a 360-degree camera. That's what that was. That thing just would rotate and put it all in one film. That's what that prop was. But he was doing. Remember, he kind of got mesmerized. He was kind of
he got mesmerized. Then
Winston went up. Hey, man, what's going on? So you think? So we know that there was already a connection with him and Vigo. Before that, so that didn't confuse me that much that he kind of jumped into Ray.
It did. There were some logic jumps in this thing, but it didn't bug you. But you're just like, oh, okay.
I mean, if you really, again, this is not a movie that you kind of,
it's not.
Start kind of dissecting for holes because if we want to the Statue of Liberty scene, there's so many things wrong with that.
Starting with the statue doesn't have legs.
Well, starting with the statue doesn't have giant windows that you can hang out.
Oh yeah, that's true. The statue.
If you've ever been up in the top, and I've been up in that, the windows are this big, and they're like concrete, and there's little mesh in there, and that's the way. I mean, they made it like it's like giant up there.
Yeah, and because they were leaning out the.
You're right. They
messed with her proportions
underneath there, and there's the whole thing. Of course, my thing is, how'd she get off the pedestal without falling? If she just can walk, she would have stepped off the pedestal and fallen. Yeah. Again, and when they're walking through the harbor, through the water, and the water's up to here on the Statue of Liberty. So that means all underneath her is flooded now because it wasn't watertight. So all the slime got away.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was so. I mean, again, suspension of disbelief on this movie. Yeah. I mean, it's just.
But we're lucky the thing got written at all. They had wanted it, and then Bill Murray didn't want to do it, and then Dan Aykroyd had some ideas. He had an idea to set it in Scotland, and he was going to do all these other things. It went round and round and round in production and in development. So we're lucky we had anything. And we're also lucky that this didn't really, because despite this, it didn't really sound the death knell on Ghostbusters. When we got Ghostbusters The Afterlife and Ghostbusters The Frozen Chosen, or whatever the hell the other one was called, you were so nostalgic that you were like, oh my God, this is so good. You know what I mean? It made you so happy to see the Ghostbusters again.
Yeah.
So this didn't ring a death knell for him at all. Even though this maybe wasn't the strongest movie ever, it's people's, they still love their Ghostbusters.
Yeah, I mean, I'm glad that they didn't. I mean, we know that there was the reboot a few years ago, the female version, and we
all girls. Even that didn't ring a death knell for Ghostbusters.
No, that's just because I think most people just saw that for what it was, and it was just a mess.
Just a spoof. Yeah.
And it's not even so much. I mean, aside from the fact that they decided to change all the characters, it was just horribly put together.
It wasn't strong. It wasn't strong.
Well, it was they were letting them ad lib, and so these scenes went on too long, and it was just there's a lot of things wrong with that movie.
Yeah.
But I'm glad that they did Afterlife. I thought Afterlife, even with Harold being dead, I thought they did that.
It was really sweet.
They did that well. I thought. And I like. We might do that after. Maybe we'll do Afterlife at some point if people want us to do it. And then the Frozen Empire one was.
We could do Afterlife and Frozen Empire together in the same.
Yeah, I mean, it was okay.
It was okay. They're cute. Afterlife was really sweet, though. It was very touching tribute to Harold, and I thought everyone else did. It was good to see everybody else again.
Yeah. So Bill Murray didn't want to do this, as we said. He was on a sabbatical from acting at that time. He kind of the president of was it Paramount? No, it's not Paramount. Was it Columbia that made this one?
I think it was Columbia.
Kind of said something like he's the only actor that makes millions on something and then doesn't give back at all.
Yeah, the studio wasn't super happy with Murray.
Yeah, he doesn't. And he doesn't. Apparently, that's a thing. He doesn't like to go back and do sequel stuff. I mean, it's just not. And Bill's a weird guy. His brother's in this too.
His brother's in it. Yeah.
His brother's in it as the psychiatrist. That's kind of. When they sends them to the guy sends them all to the psychiatric ward. He's the doctor that's kind of interviewing them. So and of course Bill Murray's there. I don't know what these guys are talking about. I don't believe any of this stuff. So it was kind of funny that they have. Of course, most people don't even know that that's his brother.
Yeah, no, they don't really look alike. I really enjoy Brian.
They kind of do, and they kind of don't. I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, the cast is the cast. We got Bill Murray, Dan Aykroyd, of course, Sigourney's back. Harold, of course,
everyone's
is back. Rick Moranis
they
is
did
back.
not bring Peck back. They have Kurt Fuller in now as whatever his name was. And I enjoy Kurt Fuller. I've seen him.
Oh, they couldn't really bring William Atherton back because he was pretty much, and he was EPA. I suppose they could have. I mean, they could have worked it in somehow. I'm sure some clever writer, but. Kurt Fuller plays the
mayor's helper.
Mayor's assistant, yeah. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think Jeanette Margolini, the prosecutor, is his wife.
Oh, is it?
Huh. I thought I read that. I could be wrong, but yeah. So of course we got Dave Margulies as the mayor again,
as Lenny,
and Peter McNichol.
You will save the lives of millions of voters.
Yeah. So, and then Ernie, of course. Do you know that Ernie Hudson was going? I know we might have talked about this already, but Ernie Hudson actually, not interviewed. What do you call it? Auditioned for Cisco for DS9.
Oh, he would have been an interesting Cisco.
Yeah, I guess he said he went in there. He did it. They told him to do it sexy. And he's like, I had no idea what to do, and I did it. And he's like, I never even. He goes, I didn't even finish the script they gave me to read to do. and they said, "Yep, thanks. No, we'll get back." Kind of like cut him off.
Poor Ernie. I like Ernie. I saw him
he would have been a good Star Trek.
Yeah, he would have been great in Star Trek. I like Ernie. Ernie, by popular demand, is given a lot more to do in this movie, and that is as it should be. And it's fun to see him.
Yeah, I mean, there's the whole scene. He's kind of has a bigger scene in the subway tunnel.
Yeah, he has a whole subway
train
thing
and everything where he kind of he's kind of bigger there, and
he's just around a lot more. He's now an established member of the Ghostbusters.
Yeah.
And that's great. And that they say that's by popular demand. That was because the audience loved him so much. Everyone loved him.
No, I mean you couldn't do this movie without putting Ernie in there and say, unless they could have written him out saying he went on to other things or whatever. But I think to really recapture the magic of the original movie, he needs to.
He needs to. A few other, since we're talking about the cast, a few little cameos. Not
Chief Marin.
Is it Cheech?
Yeah, Chief Marin. Yeah, he was the dock supervisor, the Titanic. Well, better late than never.
Yeah, better late than never. Jason Reitman, who did the Ghostbusters Afterlife, is the kid that goes, "My dad says that you guys are."
My dad says you're full of crap.
Yeah,
that's his son. Yeah,
our actual Vigo, the guy was a German
Wilhelm
athlete.
von Homburg. Is that a German name or what?
His voice was Max von Sydow, who we know and love. Because I guess Wilhelm's voice wasn't cutting it.
Yeah.
And then there were just a few other people that you may or may not know. Mary Ellen Trainor is the mom at the party. There was a couple others. Bobby Brown, the guy that sings the song, is the doorman.
That was the original song, because that was Ray Parker Jr. He sings
not
the Ghostbusters II version, the more
too hot to handle, too cold to hold. They call the Ghostbusters in, they're in control.
That one, yeah.
You see Ben Stein in there super quickly. He doesn't really have much of a line.
He's in the mayor's office. Ben Stein is in the mayor's office.
We did already mention Brian Doyle Murray, and I feel like there was one other. I'll find it, but so there are a couple little cameos tucked right in there.
Now, of course, Oscar was actually two people. And
Oscar was two babies, as is often the case.
Henry and William. So because of rules
of
child usage. You can't. So they have to. Even though, I mean, the kid didn't have that. I mean, I can't. I'm trying to think. I'm like, he isn't in that many scenes. I mean, I know the hour. It's all about how many hours they have to do it, but
he's more or less.
He was a very cute kid, that's for sure.
Oh, I know who the other person was. Blink and you miss him. You have to look for him. But friend of the studio, Felix Silla, is sitting in the front row in the courtroom, right behind the Ghostbusters. And I caught him blinking. Yes, blinking, you miss him, but he is sitting there. And then when everything blows up and people are being like, when the ghosties come, everyone's running away, someone actually picks him up and he goes out kicking.
I did not know.
So go back and watch that. Look really, really closely.
I wonder how that came about. Like, how did he just happen to be around that day or something?
Yeah, like, hey, you want to just sit in? There's no lines.
Or was there a call for a midget? And we needed somebody that a small person, little person, he would be the guy. I mean, he's always whenever they need.
That's a really good question.
Stature.
I don't know how that works, because those would all be like day players and extras and stuff. Maybe he just was getting work.
I don't know. I mean, we can't ask him because he is no longer with us. I would have loved that. That would have been a good. I have his book around here somewhere. I should go look it up after.
There may be a photo or something.
See if he mentions that, because he has a book of his career. When he came up
on IMDb, if you look on IMDb, he is listed on this movie way down at the bottom of the list.
Okay, interesting.
But it's just interesting the people who pop up and stuff.
Yeah. So it was overall, I think it's interesting. We find that, of course, they are back not being very popular once they and they kind of explain it, like, well, this, we saved the city. It's like, yeah, we blew the top off a building. We had
so basically
conjured up a giant marshmallow man, and like so.
So basically, they get in trouble the way you always want the Marvel people to get in trouble, because they're always destroying. I never said that.
I mean, my thing with Superman Marvel always is just like, why are they always the kick? I mean, the Earth gets these cities gets trashed over and over and over again. You'd think somebody would have enough, but they kind of did address that in Marvel movies, because remember, by the end of the movies they started limiting what. That's why the whole event. Remember when the Avengers kind of split up, and there was the ones that were still going with the government, and some that were doing
that's right,
because they were trying to restrict what they could do after the robot one, Age of Ultron, and they basically the whole city got that. It wasn't at least New York. It was some fictional Middle Eastern, or not Middle Eastern, like it was like like in the Ukraine area, like Poland. You know what I'm saying? It was like supposed to be in that part of the country.
Sure.
Moldova. No, that's where Vigo's from, wasn't it? Wasn't he Moldavia or something? He was the Scourge of Moldavia.
They did not address that in Batman versus Superman, because they tore the buildings up in that movie. I remember it just being completely.
I mean, it's true, but it's a valid point. I mean, how many times are you going to rip up a city before people are going to be? Could you take it offshore or something? So you're not like tearing apart. Can you like do this out in the middle of the ocean where nobody's going to bother? Sokovia, thank you. That was the name of the city that the Avengers trashed in Age of Ultron.
Oh, somebody's paying attention. Thank you,
Godzilla and Tokyo. Well, yeah, I mean, Tokyo is always Godzilla's favorite stomping ground.
Stomp it up.
Little pun there. Little pun, stomping grounds.
So yeah, so they had more technology to play with this time. They tried to put in more ghostly gags. We got to see the Titanic, better late than never, as you said. That was going to be the Hindenburg and everyone getting off being on fire, which would have been, I think, pretty.
Yeah, horrible. I think that would. No, I think the Titanic was the better call on that one. Because first of all, you wouldn't get the joke better late than never.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the Titanic was on its way to New York. The Hindenburg made it. It just blew up once it got here.
It actually was in New Jersey. I believe it landed in New Jersey.
Yeah, it wasn't technically New York.
And then they had slime. They had gallons and gallons and an entire river of slime to play with.
A river of slime.
So much slime. It was made out of, I don't know, some vegetable-based gel.
Yeah, it's always like Cairo syrup and some other junk that they put together to make the slime. Of course, they had to make the slime. And of course, then you're right. They introduced some new technology, meaning the slime thrower sprayer.
Yeah, they had the
they had to add something
sprayer thing
instead of just the nuclear accelerators. I hope these things work. Well, they should. They have
to work. We haven't used them for a while. Yeah, those were still going strong. They did update their suits. Instead of the light gray, now they're wearing a darker, snazzier gray. I bet they did look a little better.
They went back and forth, if you noticed.
Yeah, sometimes they're
wearing the tan one, and sometimes they're wearing the gray one.
Yeah, they did update the car. The car now has like a Chiron thing.
Sign. Yeah, that's why they updated.
And it was kind of hilarious because when they were back, they put the ghost doing this on the side of the car, which is kind of hilarious.
Yeah, the whole logo changed on purpose.
Yeah, the whole logo changed and kind of meta.
Like in a way, I guess you could see like it is our second time around, or here we are again, or I don't know.
Yeah,
I guess that's how they explain it. Not just that it fit them. I thought it was funny how original when we see them and you think, oh, they're going to a call and the car's all banged up and it's backfiring and smoke, and they're going to they're hired as a party to the kids. Of course, the kids don't want to have anything to do with them. They want He-Man, which is again very telling of that time because He-Man was popular on kids TV in 1989. So, and then of course we had.
We have, of course, our big bad, which is Vigo. And I got to tell you, the painting of Vigo and the effects were when he was like still a painting but he was watching them. That was good. Like, that was interesting.
Oh yeah, like a head kind of came out and he looked around.
Yeah, it came out, looked around. They would change the eyes from painting to real eyes. They did okay, maybe not brilliant, but they did okay with that. Then when he's actually a person and he comes out, then it gets a little bit more weak. But they were trying to make him actually step out of the painting, and they didn't get the effect right in time or not in time, but they just didn't get the effect right, so they didn't use it. But you can find all the deleted scenes and all these outtakes and stuff on YouTube. But there's a shot of him standing, the actors in the costume standing like in front of what looks like the painting, as if he had just stepped out of the painting. And it looked, even in an outtake, it looked really cool. And I was like, oh man, they should have used that.
Yeah,
like, why didn't they?
Anyway, it was pretty good overall. Like I said, I think they did the way they did the painting. I like the way they take whatever pictures they were taking, and then they did, like, when they printed them up, you could see it was the river of slime, and which was funny because that scene kind of had me going, well, wait a minute, when they're in the dark room and all the pictures catch on fire and the door locks.
Yeah.
And then Ernie comes and breaks it down. He just happens to breaks it down with a fire extinguisher.
Yeah, right.
They never said, I don't think they ever said fire. They're just like, hey, let us out, let us out.
Or did he smell
immediately
smoke or something?
in, but he has a fire extinguisher, right? Just happens to have one rather than just like banging it down with his shoulder or something.
That's okay.
It's a tiny. It's very
tiny detail just for fun. One of the guys who designed like their equipment and stuff was a guy named Stephen Dane. He did their equipment and their vehicle and stuff. He repurposed leftover prop warning labels and symbols from when he worked on Blade Runner and put it on some of the Ghostbusters equipment. So now I feel like I want to go back and relook at everything and be like, which one of those symbols could have been something that might have been in Blade Runner?
I mean, that's so common that production do and the production staff do. They love putting Easter eggs, even before it was really a thing.
Yeah, like Michael Kuda putting all the oscillator
Michael Kuda putting the overthruster everywhere. It's in the
everywhere.
Yeah, I know you could see it in the Phoenix from First Contact. It's just behind him. It's on because it's not a very big thing.
No, but it's like right behind either.
Well, they did that on Firefly. If you look on Fireflies carefully, if you watch the show, they put in Han Solo frozen in carbonite all over the place.
Oh, did they really?
Yeah. So it was funny that for some reason that was always in the back. If you look carefully, you'll catch it. So I mean, it's been a thing for decades for the Easter eggs. Just it's become more of a thing now to people that put more in, so that people, I guess, look or I don't know. I mean, I guess it makes it fun. So, but what was it? Oh, you're talking about the Blade Runner thing. That had me on another and I forgot what it was.
No, it's okay. He was using little symbols. Like, he must have had decals and stickers and symbols and stuff made up already that they didn't get used on Blade Runner. So he must have just been like, hey, you know what? Let's slap this.
Yes, reuse stuff. Why not? Yeah.
Yeah, why not?
I mean, they've done that. Driving and listening. Oh, well, don't fall asleep.
We are soporific. So
yeah, don't fall asleep and go off the road, Bill. We don't want that to happen.
So, by and large, this thing did not get good reviews.
I don't know why. I thought it was. I don't know what it was that people. I mean, if you guys in the chat, I mean, tell me what it is that you didn't like about it, because I really can't. I watched it again and I'm like, I don't know. It's funny. I still found
it's okay. It doesn't quite have the same.
Well,
because the original Ghostbusters, it felt like they were improvising half the movie. Like, it was really spontaneous the way they spoke to each other. And it had a good feel to it. This felt much more scripted and not nearly as funny. I don't know. They just, like, when Egon's like, yo, like, it was just weird and out of character for them. And when they go, do, re, Egon, like, I didn't get that. I just didn't find that in character for them. But I did like what I used on my teaser on Facebook, which is like, 2 in the box, ready to go. We be fast and they be slow. I liked that. Yeah. That was okay. I don't know. It's just weird. Some of it was, oh, there's John Capes. Hi, John Capes. Oh, are you having surgery on your knees?
Kid's got it coming up on Monday. I assume it's a lobotomy.
Is it a lobotomy, John?
It's to get rid of the addiction to cats.
Hip. Your hip. That's right.
All right, close enough.
I knew it was a joint.
Well, we all hope that goes well.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do. So this wasn't well received. It was called Dumb and Clunky. They didn't like that the ending was too similar to the original movie's ending. But people did like.
They had to have the big. I mean, I don't know what people were expecting. It's just not that. It's not an intellectual movie. This is a movie supposed to.
No, this isn't War and Peace.
So this is not War and Peace. I don't know what you were expecting. And you're right. They went after a very similar formula to what worked in the first one. And I think for the most part, it kind of worked. Chris is saying they need a new direction and a city to go to. Well, they kind of did that. They've
done it in another city besides New York. Yeah.
I don't know. I don't think it would have worked anywhere else. I mean, they could have done it, but it would have been like, okay, why are they in LA?
Or I don't know. It could have worked in London. They could have gone to London. That place has got to be haunted.
London, I suppose. I guess
Americans in Britain, like that. That's a mind. I mean, they could have mined all kinds of comedy out of that.
That they're not believed. I guess they were going for that same like people. I mean, you think New York after they went through what they went through, of course.
Yeah.
A lot of people still didn't believe that it was just them.
I would not have taken it that way. I would have been like, okay, yeah, they're successful and they're just running their business now.
I guess. But, I think they were going after that same thing. And we think about, okay, who wouldn't believe what happened? I mean, if you were in the city at that time, but I mean, we
witnessed it.
I mean, we have, but I mean, look at how many we have people that deny moon landing deniers and flat earthers are more popular now than ever.
I suppose. So I guess a 50-foot marshmallow man wouldn't have been.
Yeah. I mean, people could be like, yeah, that was all made up. Or it was all,
people did enjoy Louis Tully and Janine. That they were cute. They were really cute.
And I think some of that was taken from the cartoon.
Oh, was it really?
Yeah. I think because they were definitely they were both characters in the cartoon.
And then Rick Moranis. Now, was this one of no? Because I think Moranis did some Honey, I Shrunk the Kids after this. I was gonna say, is this one of his last performances?
Yeah, it's getting near where I don't remember when because let's see. My Blue Heaven was the early '90s, I think, right?
Yeah.
So that was one of the last ones he did. Have to look at you. Well, you can look at you can see, of course, he's coming back for Spaceballs 2.
He is coming back for Spaceballs. I'm just looking up his filmography here.
Well, he did stuff 96, 97, Ghostbusters.
Yeah, it looks like he was doing Honey, I Shrunk, those guys, that movies in the early 90s.
So it wasn't until when did he seem like there's a gap? So 2008, and then there's 2018 is the next thing. So yeah, maybe it was later than that. I know his wife passed away.
His wife.
He kind of he decided he was going to quit acting and take care of his kids, and he probably had enough money to do that.
You know what? This already lists Spaceballs 2 Dark Helmet. It says filming.
Yep. As upcoming, and Shrunk, which I guess is maybe they're doing another.
Yeah, maybe they're doing another Honey, I never. Those are definitely kids' movies. By the time those movies came out,
Spaceballs was before this.
Yes, Spaceballs was 87.
Yeah, so My Blue Heaven was 90. That's a funny movie if you've never seen it.
That was a good
When I Blow Up the Kids was 92. And they did. Oh yeah, that's right. I forgot he did. He played Barney.
And then he did a whole bunch of voice work. So his last actual movie was one of the Honey movies. Anyway, we're just sorry we got off on Rick Moranis there. We do enjoy him, and you know what? Mad respect to Rick for taking time off to take care of his kids.
No, I respect him for that. That's a very noble thing for him to do. I'm trying to think of what else.
But back to Ghostbusters. So yeah, I mean, it's a wonder this thing got made at all, given all the back and forth when they were trying to get it written and produced. But all in all, you know what? You're right. It's not War and Peace. It's a fun movie. It's a popcorn movie. It's a kick back and have a laugh movie. And if you you enjoy the Ghostbusters, you're gonna enjoy this.
You will, and again, you'll hear me quote it ever. And like I said,
I quote the original Ghostbusters way more than I quote this.
I don't, I'm trying to think of what I might quote from that. Other than, well, we all know one we always.
Where do these stairs go?
Where do these stairs go? They go up.
We do that.
My other favorite one is, what floor are we on? Like 17. Let me know when we're gonna get to 20. I'm gonna throw up.
I'll throw up, yeah.
But back in the day, he slimed me was apparently that was the line,
Yeah, he's laying there.
Oh, I remember we were skiing. My wife, my family, we were all out skiing, and we were separated. We had like the little walkie-talkies, and I was trying to figure out where my wife was, and I did the thing. I just got on the radio. I said, "Come in, Ray."
He's looking at me, Ray.
And apparently she was just getting on the lift, and the lift guy heard it and he started cracking up because he realized.
Because everybody knows what that is.
So that was one that I do remember from the original movie quoting, isn't it?
That's funny. Ray. All right, let me tell you guys what's coming up here. Roy, this Friday at 7, Roy and Ross are very ambitiously doing they're practically doing a creature double feature. They're going to do The Fly. They're going to do both the 1958 version of The Fly with Vincent Price and the 1986 remake with Jeff Goldblum.
So that's going to be at least a 4-hour episode.
Maybe. But I really like the remake. I like The Fly. So yeah. So that's this Friday at 7.
Yeah, it was kind of gross.
It is a little gross, yeah.
Actually, it's funny because I think the original one was, to me, is creepier. When he's stuck in the thing and he's stuck and he's like, "Help me!"
Yeah,
and the spider's coming. I thought that was creepy as fuck. Excuse my language, but again, I saw that when I was a kid, so it was scarier.
Yeah. All right, Phil is actually filling in tonight for Wax Tracks, so he'll be starting at 8:00 playing some prog rock. Tomorrow, he's got the politics show at noon, and then his show on Captain Phil's Planet. It's he'll be interviewing members of IO Earth. Not familiar with them, but that's cool. And then Friday night, it's the usual Friday night freeform. So there's a lot of Captain Phil on WUSB Stony Brook this week, and he also is saying Happy Yom Kippur to everyone. It does start tonight, I think. So happy Yom Kippur to everyone celebrating.
All right.
What are
we're gonna continue now. We don't know. We haven't gotten. We've got to get with Roy and Ross to find out what our
Halloween we do
show is going to be. Our traditional crossover episode. I don't know. They've picked most of them, and then we picked last year. But I think we're due a couple more picks. But we'll see. We'll have to try to hash that out with Roy and Ross. We're gonna do next week. I think we're gonna continue this for the rest of the month. We're gonna do our each top 3 zombie movies or TV
there's a lot of zombie movies out there.
Yeah, we can do TV shows too if it's I know
do
Walking Dead's kind of out, Anyway, so we're gonna pick I think 3 each and go over those movies for zombies, and then I think the next week we're gonna do what did we say, vampire movies after that or something? I think we're gonna do vampire, and then I don't remember, and then maybe alien movies after that. Chris Royce said, "Well, Wolfman 19." Well, we did last year. We did Abbott and Costello.
Yeah, we did
meet Frankenstein. We did Abbott and Costello meet Frankenstein. So I don't know what we're going. We try to pick something not too kind of fun and light.
When we go with Roy and Ross, we try not to do anything too serious. I think we did we did it as a joint. We did Young Frankenstein. I hear they're coming out with a Young Frankenstein. Is it a TV show remake? Not a remake or a sequel. Why? Leave the classics alone.
Yeah, it's got Jack Black in it, and I don't know. Yeah, I saw a thing, and I'm like,
Okay.
I don't know if it's
Is
a
he
movie
gonna
or
sing and
a TV
dance?
show.
Or?
I think it's gonna be one of those straight to Netflix or something like that.
Okay.
But
is it like a limited series or a movie?
I don't know. I just saw the blurb on it on Facebook, and I couldn't find it again. But I don't know. I can't remember if it was a movie. It kind of almost sounded like it was going to be a mini, like a TV show. But
Chris always says Monster Squad. I think when we talk to Roy about that, we should propose Monster Squad because Chris has been asking for this for me. Right, Chris, I'm writing this down.
We'll have to. Usually, whoever picks the other group has to do it, whether they like it or not. Although I think there was one that they picked that we were kind of like, WTF, Roy, and he changed his mind to that other horrible animated one.
Yeah, he was going to do one that actually sounded better than the animated one we did.
It was like one that had Shatner in it, but it was like a devil one or something. I don't know. It was a weird one.
Oh, it wasn't the one where he's doing it in Esperanto. Yeah, it was a Shatner movie.
It was Shatner was in it. I think it wasn't the Spider Kingdom of the Spiders. It wasn't that one.
And it wasn't the one where he talks in Esperanto either, I don't think. All right, whatever.
Anyway, we'll work it out with Roy. I'm sure we'll figure it out.
We'll work it out with Roy. It probably will not be on Halloween. On the actual Halloween, we will all probably be
Devil's Reign. Yeah, maybe it was Devil's Reign.
Devil's Reign. Yeah, it might have been Devil's Reign.
Been it. So then we kind of balked a little bit at it, and he quickly changed it to that puppet one.
Yeah, an animated
Monster Island thing. It was really weird. And
children's, and there were songs. It was like a Christmas. It was like
a Christmas show, but it was Halloween.
It was a Christmas one, but it was Halloween.
Yeah, weird. That was another thing we didn't mention about this movie, which I thought was hysterical, was World of the Psychic.
Oh yeah, that's right.
That was to me, I thought was hysterical.
Right. And then the girl
that whole scene was funny as hell. I thought.
Yeah.
So your alien had a room at the Holiday Inn Paramus.
Yeah.
It could have been the spaceship.
And the world's going to end on Valentine's Day.
Like, well, shouldn't you just wait till Valentine's Day? Bummer. And that's another thing. Hairless pets. Weird. I do quote that one.
Hairless pets. Wait, did he actually have the cat? He actually had the cat. Yeah.
Weird.
Hairless pets.
So I'm telling you, the movie's got more merit. If you haven't watched it in a while, watch it again. And you might actually enjoy it more than you did in 1989 because you'll have nostalgia about when movies were actually better than they are now.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm coming up on my it's Halloween month. We're coming up on my annual rewatch of Rocky Horror and then Bastard Night.
Boy, you see they did that because it's 50 years for that. And poor Tim Curry. Yeah, I didn't realize he had a stroke years back, and he's wheelchair bound. So bad for him. I had no idea. I didn't know that happened to him. So, but anyway, on that note,
all right, kids,
we will see you next week. Same bat time, same bat channel. Next week. And as always, live long and prosper, and may the force be with you always. Bye.